How awful are mealies? They're icky. Ugh. I don't like them. I'm sorry. I know that pests are in nature and, you know, they're always going to be there, and I understand that. Well, today I'm going to talk to you about 7 different effective ways of getting rid of mealybugs. They're all different type of methods. You may want to chop and change. You may want to add a few together, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons of each, and then you can decide for yourself. And then at the end, we're going to finish on the method that I use, and I'm going to share my secret weapon when it comes to mealies. And I can tell you, I think you're going to be surprised. I don't think many people have heard of this secret weapon. So if you're not sure, mealybugs are those little white, weird cotton ball type things. They're really, really small, and they're sap-sucking insects. They actually suck out the juice and the sap out of your leaves, and they leave a very white, obvious residue. Again, cottony, ball-y type things. So they're actually kind of easy to spot, and they're probably one of the more prevalent pests around in indoor plants and outdoor plants, but mostly indoor plants, and they're definitely one that I have seen a lot. So I'm not sure if you know this, but mealybugs are actually attracted to certain types of plants that are a little bit more juicy. So for example, you might be growing a lemon tree or an orange tree. They're very much attracted to citrus trees or mango trees, something that's very yummy and sweet and juicy. But also they love soft stems and soft leaves, and they really love tropical plants, which is probably why I see them a lot. That's what I talk about the most. And you might find them a lot in perhaps the new growth where the stem or the leaf is a little bit softer. The other thing you may not know is mealybugs are actually attracted to high nitrogen in the plant. So if you are an over fertilizer, if you happen to go a little bit overboard on your fertilizer, it may not affect the plants, but it will definitely attract those mealybugs. When it comes to treating mealybugs, it does depend a little bit on whether you've got a really light infestation, there's only a couple, or a really heavy infestation. A plant can recover from a mealybug infestation. If it's light or medium, I would suggest absolutely going for it. Try some or all of these different methods, see which one suits you. I mix 2 together, and we'll talk about that more at the end. But if it's too heavy and the plant is suffering, you might just want to let it go, unfortunately. I know people don't like talking about that all the time, but that's what happens in nature sometimes. Give it a good little burial and let it go. But the more healthy your plant is, the better off your plant has a chance to succeed. So the first one we're going to talk about is actually probably the easiest, and that's just helping dislodge those mealies with a stream of water. You want to find leaves that are not fragile in this case. So if you have a nice, beautiful, weird and wonderful shaped leaf, you may want to avoid the stream of water method. But ultimately, you just want to grab your water and with a little bit of a jet stream and dislodge those mealies through the stream of water. The good thing about this method, it is the easiest. It's obviously natural, it's organic. There's no pesticides or chemicals or anything involved, so that's good as well. And I find that I do use this method on sometimes when I've got cuttings growing in water, and maybe I find a mealybug that I missed, I'll dislodge it just running it under the tap water. My tap's over there, that's why I pointed over there. Second solution, and the one I use the most when it comes to a leaf or a plant that doesn't have that many mealies, is using isopropyl alcohols. And while it doesn't harm your plants, I wouldn't spray too much onto the leaf. I would instead grab your alcohol and dab it onto perhaps a cotton bud or a cotton pad or some kind of soft material, and then use that sprayed cloth or sprayed pad to wipe the mealies off the leaves. You might notice when you put the alcohol directly on the mealies, you'll see them turn orange straight away. That's a good thing. And the thing I love the most is it's actually quite satisfying in a weird way to see that you're doing the work and you're effectively removing those bugs. So the pros in this, it's very satisfying to watch. You're in control. You can see what you're doing, and grabbing those mealies and making sure they get off of that leaf. Perhaps the downside to this method is it is time consuming. It's one by one taking it off by hand, or a couple off by hand as you're using your cotton pad. If you're anything like me and your eyesight's not that good, you are relying on your own eyesight. And the other thing, I would not use it on large infestations. It is hard. I mean, you can, but I personally think there's other ways that you can get around it a little bit easier. The third effective way to get rid of mealies is to create your own insecticidal spray, insect spray. You can do this several ways. Grab yourself a big spray bottle, or 1 litre spray bottle, and fill it with water, maybe 758 mils or a litre, depending on how big your spray bottle is. It doesn't. And then the first way you can do it is by adding a little bit of dish soap. Now, try and get a dish soap that is actually safe for plants. I have something from Dr. Bronner's and I absolutely love it. It has a little bit of peppermint in it as well. So that also is something that pests don't like. And you can just mix, I think it's about a tablespoon into the water, mix it and use that as your spray. You may have to repeat that process with that spray. So once you've cleaned up and sprayed and wiped all of your leaves, leave it for a couple of days, maybe 3 or 4 days, go back in and do it again. Mealies do move around and walk around. They're slow, but they definitely move. So there may be some hidden. So you've got to look at those. Another way you might want to think about making your own insecticidal soap, you can use your own home ingredients. Pests hate things like garlic, like onion, like cayenne pepper. So use those to your advantage and make a spray out of those home ingredients. So for example, you can take a garlic bulb, a little bit of onion, onion and some cayenne pepper, make it into a paste, and then add that to a soapy water mix. And that pepper spray is something that pests don't like either, but again, it is actually safe for your plants. If you're going to make this concoction, you can keep it in the fridge for a week, and after that, the cayenne pepper in the solution will probably just wear out a little bit. So I just want to take a break here that if you're liking the video so far, please do like and subscribe, do all the things, you know what to do. And I will also make sure I leave some links for the products that I've mentioned, just in case you want to go and have a research about them. If there's anything else you'd like me to talk about on this channel, leave that in the comments below, or feel free to message me on any of my social channels. And now back to the studio, which I'm in. Now, method number 4 is something that you will see everywhere on social media, because it's one of those that we feel not only helps you get rid of bugs, but also protects the leaf afterwards. And that's using neem oil. Now, neem oil you can buy just on an oil on its own. You can buy a spray bottle already with a mixed concoction of neem oil. There's several around. I have one from a brand called We the Wild, and I love that spray as well. But if you do want to make your own, grab your 1 litre spray bottle, fill it with water, and then you want to add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of neem oil. When you add the oil to the water, the oil sits on top of water. So to emulsify that oil and get it mixed into the water, you're going to add some dish soap. Get that dish soap that you had before if you've bought that nice, safe, perfume-free, fragrance-free dish soap, and that dish soap will help emulsify the oil and the water together and mix it up. And then as an added bonus, you might also want to take some of that isopropyl alcohol if you have it and add a couple of drops in that as well. Again, the alcohol will just mix into the water a little bit, but it will still be effective on your plants. Mix all of that up and again, spray that on your leaves, and then grab your microfiber cloth and wipe it off. I do see a lot of people recommending you just spray the leaves and you just leave it. But honestly, those mealies are sneaky. They hide everywhere and they can be stubborn sometimes. So my honest advice is whatever you do, whatever spray you use, just get in and wipe those leaves. And even with the methods coming forward, you'll see again, always wipe the leaves with some physical cloth or something after you've done the spray. The great thing about that, as I mentioned, is it's not only a cure for those mealies, it helps as a preventative. The one piece of advice I can tell you without any hesitation with neem oil, if you use any kind of spray with neem oil in it, you'll see them glisten and you'll see them beautiful and shiny. Do not put those leaves out into sun straight after, because you will burn your leaves. So please just keep them in shade or keep them inside and keep your leaves safe and healthy with that treatment. Now, method number 5, I must admit, I haven't used. However, I know that it happens in nature because method number 5 is all about buying predatory bugs. Now, you can buy these off of Amazon and they will send you either, I think ladybugs can help, or lace bugs. The great thing about predatory mites is it's so natural and, you know, you're just helping bugs do their thing. That's what they do. And they're great for your garden. If you have an outside area, do just release them into the backyard, and they do help your garden thrive if you're lucky enough to have an outdoor area. Perhaps one not good thing about this is if you only have indoor plants, then I perhaps wouldn't release them indoors. They'll just fly everywhere. And personally, I just don't like a bug flying around on my bed. Can you imagine it? Just a ladybug landing on you when you're trying to go to sleep. That'd be quite cute, actually. But I don't like bugs flying around my face. Anyway, so it's probably not the best thing to release indoors. I do know other people in the plant community and they absolutely love predatory mites. Most natural, most safest thing you can do, and it's bugs doing their thing. Right, we're down to the last 2 methods. Number 6 is probably the most full-on method you can talk about, and that is actually using chemicals to grab those mites. Now, I would only recommend this as a last resort, and I would only recommend this if those bugs are stubborn and you've got a huge infestation and you don't really know what to do with it. It is using hard chemicals, and hard chemicals kill everything. So not only will they kill your mealies, they'll kill all other bugs, beneficial or otherwise, on your plant or in the surrounding area. Just be very careful and follow the instructions on any kind of chemical pesticide that you do use. The good thing is it works. I mean, it kills everything, right? Even though that sounds weird to say, it works. It will get rid of those bugs once and for all. If you're unlucky enough, you might have to do it a second time. And please only do it if it's a last resort. Just put a little bit of effort in with the neem oil spray or the isopropyl alcohol or whatever it is, and make sure you're wiping those leaves, and that will honestly get rid of 99% of the problems that you have with mealybugs. Okay, we are down to the final method, and it also includes my secret weapon, and I'm going to share that with you in a sec. The final effective method is using a product called Diatomaceous earth. I'll make sure I leave a little bit more information in the comments below for you so you can read a little bit about them, but it is a very natural occurrence in life, and it comes in a very, very powdery format. If you can, try and buy food grade quality Diatomaceous earth. At the very least, make sure you buy a good quality from your local green gardener. It's not the easiest to find, but you can find it out there. I love Diatomaceous earth when I have a decent infestation, because it is like a floury, powdery kind of substance, and it gets into every nook and cranny in your plant. And therefore, if there's any mealybugs hiding in the little stem creases or anything, it will get there over time. And especially if those mealies start crawling around on your plant and they crawl over this powder, they will definitely get them. So I find this one of the most effective ways in coordination with the neem oil spray. And my secret weapon to use this Diatomaceous earth that is so effective, and you may not have heard of it, is the humble makeup brush. Can you believe it? I know that's a little bit weird, but basically, hear me out. The makeup brush that you've got is a very soft makeup brush. It's for your skin. So when you've got the brushes on the leaves, it is so gentle on the leaves and yet gets that powder into every crevice. It is just a beautiful tool to use with this light powdery substance. You just want to make sure that you're wearing gloves and you're wearing a mask and you don't breathe in the air. So the way you go about it, you grab your makeup brush, you dip it into the diatomaceous earth to make sure you've got enough powder on the edge of that makeup brush, and then you literally layer over the leaves back and front. You layer over the stem. You might even want to put some diatomaceous earth on top of the soil, again depending on how bad that infestation is. And then you powder the whole plant. Make sure it's away from all pets and all kids and everything. Try to do it somewhere outdoors if you can, or maybe in a bathroom or a shower, and just cover the entire plant lightly with that powdery diatomaceous earth. And then leave it. Leave it for at least an hour, maybe a couple of hours if you can, and let the diatomaceous earth do its thing to the mealies. And then I will spray off all of that dust as much as possible, and I will redo that plant with my neem oil spray, and I'll spray it all over the leaves, and I'll go in with my microfiber gloves, and I'll make sure that I, again, just go over all of the leaves. I find that no matter what method you use, you will usually only get 80 to 90% of those mealybugs away. There's always one or two hiding. So to go in with a second method, maybe the same method or different, a second time, you can get that last 20% and it's much more effective. The good thing about diatomaceous earth, if you buy a food grade version especially, is it is actually quite safe for you. I still wouldn't recommend breathing it in. I would still recommend wearing a mask and gloves. You don't want to be breathing in dust, no matter what kind of dust it is. But just remember, don't beat yourself up if you get a pest. I can tell you every single plant parent I have ever met will get a pest at least once in their life, if not a lot more. They are an absolutely natural thing. And even if you're the best of indoor gardener or outdoor gardener, the pests will still get there. They're pests. They're called pests. They are pests. That's what they do in nature, and it's a very natural thing. So please don't beat yourself up over it. Try different methods, see how you go. And if all else fails, go back to what I said right at the beginning. If that infestation is not good and no matter what you try, you still find there's mealybugs, then please just do get rid of that plant. Pop it into the plant bin. Don't pop it into the compost because you don't want to take those mealies into other plants. Plants do die off in nature as well, remember? So do what you can as much as you can, but if it's not working and that plant is suffering, please do just let it go. Pop it in the plant bin and it'll go out and be looked after. Now, mealybugs are only one type of pest, and we all know there's many more out there as gardeners. And as such, I want to help you guys out in the future, not just with mealies, but with all bugs. So I have created this freebie giveaway for you guys. It's absolutely free. All you have to do is follow a link that I'm going to put in the comments below, and it's all about how to identify what type of pest you have and how to treat that pest. It's absolutely free, as I said. Please take it away, keep it, save it, and hopefully that'll help you control all the different types of pests. But just remember, prevention is better than cure, and always try and dislodge them physically. No matter what pest you have, it works a lot better for you. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you have any questions, please do add them in the comments below. Hopefully one of these methods will work for you very much. I hope you have an amazing week, as I always say, full of leaves, love, and lots of laughter. In the next video, see you later. Bye.